scar that ain't even your fault, but don't listen to them haters tryna feel you.
What's up, y'all? Brandon here, back again with another life story. I don't know, life story or just experience, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Some shit that happened to me. This time, the story I'm going to be telling y'all about happened back when I was in high school. And back when I was in high school, after I got my car, after I was able to drive, I had, like 4 or 5 of my homies that I would literally leave to go to school like an hour early, and I would just tell my parents like, oh, like I want to get to school early so I can, eat free breakfast and whatnot. But really, I was just gonna go pick up my friends, and we were all gonna meet up at my boy's house, whose parents were cool, and they just, they let us smoke and shit. So I would pick up my boys, and we would head over to my other dude's house, and we would just literally, I'm pretty sure we only missed like 4 or 5 days out of the whole senior and fucking junior year that we didn't do this little fucking, ritual. This was a daily thing, and if it wasn't all 4 of us, it was at least me and another dude. We would always fucking spark up before school because school sucked. I did not like school. School was fucking annoying. People there sucked. The teachers were assholes. Not all of them, but most of them. Everyone's going through their own shit in life, whatever. So we met up, we all met up, went to my boy's house, fucking, I think we smoked at least 2 blunts, bowl got passed around, and then, we were about to head to school. But mind you, one of my friends, fucking Stefan, he liked to do a little bit more than just fucking, just weed. So his fucking cracked out ass was on, I don't know what else he was on, but I know he was on fucking Xanax. I don't know if he was on his other bullshit with his Suboxone or whatever the fuck he was doing. My man was cracked out, He was all sorts of fucked up. The rest of us, really, we just smoked weed and, occasionally did, like fucking Xanax sometimes. But he was going down a real fucking dark path. And Stefan did not know whether left was right, right was left, up was down. He didn't even know what fucking solar system we were in, mind you. He didn't know the name of this fucking planet, You could ask him something like literally any question. You could be like, hey, Stefan, bro, what'd you do yesterday? And he would be like, yeah, math was good. The homework, I got it done. And we're like, nah, dude, that's not what we fucking asked you. Like, he's just that kind of dude. You'd ask him a question, and when he was this fucked up, he would just fucking pull some shit out of his ass, and you'd be like, bro, that has literally nothing to do with what we fucking asked you at all. So, this man, I should have known, bro. I should have known to but what are you gonna do, I was like 16 at the time, and I was in the wrong crowd of people, to say the least. So, we finish up our session and we head on into school. Stefan goes to his classes. I go to my classes. And I get to my 3rd period, right? Well, not get to we were changing classes between 3rd and 4th period. And one of my friends, thank God for it. Well, I mean, it didn't really help, but he was like, yo, bro, Stefan, he got called down to the office, or, he not got called down. He went down to the office because he was all fucked up. And he went down to the office and was telling them like, oh, I think I left my phone in Brandon's car. Some bullshit, but he literally, he got himself fucked and me fucked because once the APs, just fucking got a whiff of him or even just listened to any words come out of his mouth, they were like, this kid is fucked up and we're going to figure out who else is fucked up, So he tells I guess he had told the fucking APs or whatnot that he had left I don't know if it was like he left his phone in my car or he left something in my car, but Stefan he fucked up, right? And so we're changing periods, and someone literally tells me, "Yo, bro, I think something's up. Like Stefan's in the office, and some shit's going down." And literally after this dude tells me that Stefan's in the office and something's about to happen, I look to my left, and who do I see? My fucking AP walking straight towards me, and he's got his eyes locked on my forehead. Like I could feel the look, like the glare. It was just like beaming. It was like fucking laser right in my forehead. I could feel it. I could feel that shit from a mile away, bro. I know the fucking glare. He literally, right when we made eye contact, it did not break. And then his arm comes up and he like gives me the fucking Undertaker like the point bullshit, and I'm like, oh man, here we go. And mind you, like, I'm not ready for this. My car smells like weed. I think I had like an eighth of weed in my car, and after I hear this shit, like that my friend told me, I'm like, yo, maybe Stefan left some shit in my car that's like more than weed. Like, fuck, I don't want them to get to my car and then like I get wrapped into the bullshit, and then I get charged with possession of some bullshit that literally wasn't even mine. So I'm fucking pissed, but I play it off. The AP, he gives me the whole fucking Undertaker bullshit. I go over to him, and I talk to him, and he's like, "Hey man, I got Stefan down in the office, and he's telling me he left some shit in your car." He's like, I don't really believe him, but Stefan's really fucked up. He told me, he was like, you seem fine. By third period, the weed was out of. I was fine. I was pretty much damn near sober. So when we talked, he just knew that I wasn't nowhere near as fine. I was. He could tell I was sober. So he's like, you seem fine, but he's like, I have to go search your car, like. He says something's in there, so I gotta go search it. So I'm like, oh, here we go. Fucking bullshit I'm about to get wrapped into. So we're walking towards my car, and I really don't feel like dealing with the bullshit, man. I really didn't. I knew what was about to happen, We're about to go to my car. He's gonna open it up. He's gonna go into the glove compartment. And I didn't even hide it, So I'm seeing this all play out in my head, and I'm just like, bro, man, I don't want to do this today, man. It was Friday. It was a fucking Friday, mind you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a fucking Friday. I'm not with this bullshit right now. Not with it. I'm pretty sure you can tell, like, I'm not fucking I just fuck. All these emotions are fucking wrapped up inside of me, and my brain flipped the switch, and I started to come up with this idea, like when I was walking with my AP towards my car, there was this like turn that we were gonna go around, and then there's a hallway, right? And mind you, my school is like, the school I went to was like outside. So when you come out of a class, you're straight into the outside. I went to this bullshit high school called fucking Newsom in Lithia. If you want to, check it out. You'll see what I'm saying when you look at it. So I took my opportunity, and like, the AP's walking and he's talking. We're literally just talking about bullshit, and I see my opportunity. He's talking to me, but he's not really like looking at me or paying attention. So he's walking, he's talking. I'm walking with him, and I look at him. And he's like looking straight ahead, and then he just keeps like, I literally stopped, and he kept walking and talking, and I was like, this is it. It's now or never. And I fucking turned around. I turned on my fucking jets, and I started full sprinting. Full sprint, motherfucker. I'm Speedy Gonzalez. The Roadrunner doesn't have shit on me right now. You don't have shit on me. I got those fucking Roadrunner hyper legs going. I make it to the front of my school, right? Like, I dusted my AP. The AP, by the time he turned around, I had at least 50 yards on him by the time he even turned around. So, But I'm still full sprint. I'm like literally sprinting through the whole fucking school right to the front. And there were a couple like students that like looked at like we made eye contact and they could tell like yo something's popping off. But I was locked. I'm in the zone, man. I'm not about to deal with that bullshit, right? And when I get to the front of the front of the school is like where the office is and all the bullshit. So we had just gotten a new principal, and this principal, she was like this old lady, and she thought she was hot shit. Like she had like stopped a fight between these two girls, and like with the weave, some girls' weave popped off, and I don't know, they some shit happened, but she really thought she was some hot shit because she tackled this bitch, and I think after she like tackled the girl, like I don't know if her ego got boosted times 10, but listen, when I'm running, right, Barry Sanders just like came out of me, and I'm like, no, because she tried to like, I'm running, she's coming at me, like I see her, and I'm like, oh, I already know what time it is, bitch. I already know you're about to try something, you know. So she comes fucking full at me, and she goes to fucking like lunge at me, right? And I just hit the fucking, I hit the brakes, and she went straight in front of me, fucking literally face planted, because she tried to like, she literally threw her whole fucking body and arms at me. Like I'm like, you're like fucking 60 years old, bitch. Like you're gonna break something, you know. I'm in my fucking prime. I'm 16. Like you are not a teenager anymore. You are way past that, bitch. I don't know what the fuck she was thinking, but she got checked real quick that day because I fucking juked the fuck. I broke her kneecaps. I'm sorry. I don't care, but kneecaps gone, bitch. The ground, your face, I'm out. So she fucking hits the ground. I keep running, and the fucking school sheriff, this fucking fat ass creepy motherfucker, he sees me with his stupid flat top, stupid motherfucking haircut, right? So he sees me, and he could tell, he's like, there's no way I'm catching him. So I see him like jump into his car, and right across from my school there's like an outback, um and then it's like just a whole bunch of like brush and like woods and shit. So I crossed the street, I like frogger across. I literally almost got hit by a car. Not got hit by a car, but like I kind of, I don't know, I'm not even gonna say I almost got hit by a car, but I make it across the road. I'm running, I see outback, and then I see the brush, and I'm like, maybe if I jump and just like hide in the fucking in the brushy area, like they won't find me. Like I really don't think his fat ass is gonna get out of his car and like do anything. As I'm running and I'm about to jump into the brush, right? I look over and I see one of like the outback like cooks or some shit. Some dude was in the back smoking cigarettes. He probably like was a line cook or something, or he definitely looked like a cook, right? So he's out back smoking his cigarettes, and like I kind of make eye contact with him. He sees me, I see him, whatever. I jump into the bushes, right? And I lay down, and then through the bushes I can kind of see like what's happening. So like I see the cop car pull around. I'm like, oh fuck. And he pulls around, he sees the cop sees the dude smoking a cigarette, and he like pulls over to him, and he's like, hey man, by chance did you see anyone like a kid with a backpack running over here, have you seen anything? And I could hear the dude was like, nah man, I didn't see anything, I just been here smoking a cigarette. And I was like, bro, my heart dropped for a second, because all he had to do was say like, yeah man, he's in the brush right there, just fucking lying down, you know what I mean? Like he literally could have just ratted me out right then and there. And by the grace of fucking God, we got a real one here. The dude didn't even know me. He was like, nah, man, maybe he just didn't like cops or whatever. He just didn't want to be a snitch. But I was so happy, right? So the cop pulls off. I wait a couple minutes, and I get out the brush, and I see him, and I'm just like, thanks, man. and like he like gives me the nod, and then he just like goes inside. So this fucking bro, thank you if you're out there, if you ever hear this story, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for being a real one to someone you don't even know me, and I just really appreciate that. So, but even though I get away, my car's still at school, so you already know the deal, man. They called my parents, and my parents had to come in. I don't know what kind of wheeling and dealing my parents did with the fucking, with the principal or whatever, but I didn't get any charges pressed on me, or I didn't get, like, they could have literally gotten me with, like, possession of marijuana, possession of, whatever prescription shit that they found. They could have got me with a lot of shit. But instead, I just got, like, a 10 days suspension, that ATOS shit. So I had to go to, like, to some fucking detention center for, like, 10 days with a whole bunch of other kids who got fucking sent, so... But it was whatever. But the rest of that day, I just called up my brother, and he was like around the area. I told him what happened, and he was like, "Oh fuck, dude." So he was like, "Hey man, I can pick you up and I'll smoke with you and shit, and after that you got to go back home, but at least for now you don't have to be walking around just doing nothing." So my brother came, saved my ass, and we just smoked and talked about, what the fuck happened. And I gave him the whole rundown, and yeah, that was that. So, yeah. Thank you guys for listening to that story. That was how that's how that day went, man. It was a day I'll never forget, but good times, good times. If you're still around, thank you for listening. I really appreciate you guys, and stay tuned for more stories like this. Peace.